All doing today? Thank you so much for coming to watch this video. If you're familiar with our channel, you know that I love these EOS capsules. So I try to make anything and everything I can with them. So back to school soon, so I'm going to show you guys how to make 3 different writing tools with your EOS container. So if you're not familiar with an EOS container it's lip balm, and you can buy it at a drugstore, grocery store, and this is what it looks like when you first open it. And these capsules are so cool because they snap apart into 3 pieces, and you just find the little extra chunks of plastic there, stick something sharp, not too sharp because you don't want to hurt yourself, and you just pop it out. So this one, like I said, is brand new, so we still have lots of lip balm there. And if you do want to use a brand new one, you can easily just scrape out the lip balm and make sure you save it, because you can actually put it back in once you're done with your capsule, or put it in a different container. So first, I'm going to show you how to make EOS crayons. This idea is inspired by Crayola's palm grip crayons that are shaped like eggs, that are super easy for kids to use, obviously, right, because of the big grip. So we're going to use these EOS containers, and no, these do not have to be just for kids, they can be for anyone. So I have my EOS container, and I have some crayons. So crayons take forever to melt in case you decide to do this, so just make sure that you guys are paying attention to that. I'm going to grade my crayon, and I'm actually going to put it right in the EOS container. So this is where I'm going to use the microwave, and you may want some adult supervision. And I did do 1 minute at a time, and it ended up taking about 10 minutes. So I waited until the crayon obviously was completely melted. I'm just coating the top with some oil, and you'll notice if you don't do this, whatever you make will stick to the top. So just a teeny tiny bit, and I'm going to insert this centerpiece as the graded crayon will fall through it. You also notice as you melt it, you're going to end up putting more and more and more of the graded crayon to ensure that you've filled in all the gaps. Okay, and just tap your container a little bit to get all those gratings right down to the bottom, and this is how you create that egg shape. So just a reminder that we're using the top of the EOS, we've snapped in the middle piece, and then once we're complete, we'll snap on the base. So when you take off the lid, you have that nice egg shape. So again, I'm just filling it up with more crayon. Try to fill it up as much as you can, because like I said before, when it melts, it will seep down some more. Here we have the finished product. So I already put it in the microwave, and like I said, it probably ended up being about a total of 10 minutes. So I did a minute at a time, just checking to make sure that it was melting each time and not overflowing, and then I put it in the freezer, and this is the final product. So you have yourself a perfectly egg-shaped EOS crayon. The best part about these EO containers, you just screw the lid back on, and there you go, and you just pop that in your pencil case. I'm going to show you a different color that I made. I wanted to try doing a multicolor of purple. So I had all these purples. I have this super cool glitter one, and so I chopped this one up just to see if it would be any different. It still takes a lengthy amount of time to microwave, but the result is definitely worth it. This is halfway through my microwaving process, and I'm just smushing it down to ensure that I have the crayons right into the lid. And then I add some more on top and then microwave it again. I then put it in the fridge or freezer, and here is the final product. Look how awesome this looks. This is really turning out well, just the way I wanted it to, so you can actually see the different shades of color as I'm coloring. Now I'm going to show you how to make some EOS chalk, which I think is just brilliant because, as we know, chalk tends to get everywhere. So if you can put a little cap on that, that's perfect. And if you're the type of person who wants to have a chalkboard inside your locker or something like that, this is perfect for you. So I have my plaster of Paris, which is essentially the chalk, tempera paint, which is it's washable, so you want to make sure that you're using that. And you just need water. Super easy. Plaster of Paris is a 1-to-1 ratio, and then you just add your paint. So it's really easy. The hardest part is just waiting for it to dry until it's ready to go. So I'm just setting up my containers here. I'm going to make yellow and blue. Alright, grab yourself a mixing dish and a stir stick, and this stuff doesn't stick to any dishes, so you don't need to worry about that. So I'm using 1 tablespoon of plaster of Paris and 1 tablespoon of water. Just mix it together until all the chunks are gone, which is quite easy. It thins right out right away, and then you put your color in. So again, this is tempera paint, which is essentially a watercolor paint, so it does wash off, and I use a lot to ensure that when I go to use my chalk on a chalkboard, you can really see the color. Ready, pour it into your EOS container, and you can fill it up right to the very top, as you'll notice that as it dries, it does decrease in size. I recommend waiting a full day for these to dry, because the last thing you want to do is open it up and it doesn't look very good. Now here's the blue, which is for sure the best one, and I think it helped that it was the one that I used with the lip balm, so the lid had a little bit of that oil on it, and I didn't put oil on the yellow one, so you'll see how the yellow one looks a little bit less pretty, and I probably could have waited a little bit longer for it to dry. So you can see it's kind of chunky. It's not really wet, but you can see that it kind of got stuck to the lid, so that's how important the oil coating is on the lid. This will obviously still work as chalk, so I'm still happy with it, but for sure the blue one is our winner. And finally, today I'm going to show you how to make an EOS highlighter. So you have to have a highlighter, and we're going to use the EOS container to turn into a very unique, different highlighter. As you can see, I just used scissors, and you can use tweezers or whatever to take out the tip of the highlighter. We need to put a hole in the centerpiece so that the highlighter tip can go through it. So I'm just warming up the plastic with my glue gun tip here, and then I'm going to use my what is that called again? My X-Acto knife. Oh my goodness. My X-Acto knife to cut the plastic. And it is quite soft now thanks to the glue gun, so just be very careful. And you can sort of check the size of the hole with your highlighter tip and shave off more plastic if necessary. The most important thing here to remember is just to be safe. Go ahead and stick the tip of the highlighter in the centerpiece with the hole that you have just created. I really like the green one, how it sits down a bit more. The pink highlighter I have is actually different, so it's a little bit thicker, so it sits higher. But I'm actually okay with that because you'll see how it's actually easier to write with because it sticks out more with the EOS container. Okay, so now we're going to prep the base of our highlighter, and I'm going to seal this off by using a little bit of parchment paper. So this is to seal the middle piece, and I'm going to get out my glue gun, and you'll see the base is going to hold where all the ink is. So this highlighter will actually last a long time. So I have a circle piece of parchment paper. I'm just going to stick it in there, and like I said, I'm going to pull out my glue gun and get glue in. So our parchment paper is underneath, and we're filling this up with glue, and this is to help seal in all the ink that's going to be in the base of our EOS container. Okay, when that's all done, let it dry, and moving on to the messy part. So this is where I recommend using gloves. I did not, but I also don't really care, so do whatever you feel the need to do. So you're going to take the base off, or the bottom off your highlighter, and pull out the part that contains the ink. So again, this is where it gets really messy or really fun, however you want to look at it. Alright, moving on to the next messy part, which is cutting open the little tube thingamajigger where you hold the ink. So just again, if you want to wear gloves, that's totally up to you. I'm not, obviously, so here we go. I'm just going to rip this stuff out, and I'm just going to shove it in the base of the EOS, and it's going to suck up all the ink that I put in there. So I'm just going to shove it in as much as I possibly can so that all the ink is absorbed, and then we're going to snap on the middle piece. And that's all there is to it to making an EOS highlighter. If you want, you can also add some glitter, so after I put the hot glue on, I added some glitter, and it makes it just extra sparkly and fun. Well, that's the end of this video, so thank you so much for watching the whole thing, and please subscribe. We're almost at 100,000, and we would love for you guys to be a part of that. Make sure that you share and like our video. Thank you so much.